Hey everyone, it's me, Sketchervit. This is actually, I think, going to be the first video of this series up on YouTube of any kind. Uh, well, happening to go find that the new submod for Equestria War that actually makes things way more fitting. No, this is AW/OWB. It's while it does not use Old World Blues, it is kind of a collaboration as far as I can tell. This is called Balefire Blues. Right there. And because of who I am, I know what faction I have to play as my first playthrough of this, and it is going to be a challenge. And if you're curious on some things, I unfortunately, I have to say this again, I am very, very annoyed that I feel like I'm honor bound to do this. Because, as you know, I am from the Enclave. So therefore, I kind of am honor bound to go with this route. But I'm gonna go. Let's go look through, see what all the tools are at the start. We have red eye, visionary, 50. Visionary. But yeah, we're gonna be starting as the Enclave. Well, Neighvaro. Because it's here. Great War plunges the world into seemingly eternal darkness and thrown everything into chaos. Creatures struggle to survive and over the decades, survivors manage to carry a large group. Survivors continue attempt to gain morals in the overworld. Ancestors and oh, that's the same for all. Okay. We have a weak Senate, which is bad. We have a strong council. You have stable food supply, but that's so bad that we're losing monthly population by 90%. We have enough food to keep our ponies fed. So we need to go fix this as soon as possible. You see, cloud sale. Yeah. I'm select Neighvaro. I'm aware of how small I'm going to start in the game. Let's see here. It says, okay, Enclave says the visionary. I honestly don't know what any of these do. I'm just gonna read these here. I'm not gonna change anything though, but historical. Oh, that's not good. Huh. Now, any of these except historical is interesting. Well, let's hope I can pull things around and prevent historical route. I guess it's a sprint, right? I'm not doing this because, yeah. But that was fun, interesting that they went and did that. let's begin. I'm gonna see what my actual way I can do things are. I'm hoping for visionary, though. Let's see, that's Unity very far away here. Oh, there's actually the Neighvaro, the boogeyman of the wasteland. The Balefire bombs that ravage the question line. Go, new size. Yeah, blah blah blah. This is okay. Okay, yeah. Oh, there's actually unique there. Whereas in ways they're broken ideology, but united in purity. So all spring from corrupts from the same corrupt stem. They are unfit to continue Equestria's legacy, yet high above the heads of many isolated from the means of the feud below. There remains a race of ponies still pure, still untouched by the foul chaos the mega spells wrought. They call themselves the Grand Pegasus Enclave. That's us! The establishment of 6 ministries by Princess Luna would lead to the inception of the most peculiar and secret one of them all, led by the most famous opponent of them all, Rainbow Dash. So name it the Ministry of Awesome, and would declare its purpose to be the study of all things cool and radical. May believe there's no real purpose in the war. I mean, actually, the person ministry was never truly revealed to the public, unknown to the masses. The ministry's actual function was perhaps the most vital of them all. It would serve as an developmental, research, and covert agency specialized in all things Clandestine, and while also serving as the pioneering technological front for equestrian warfare. The ministry cooperated frequently with many military organizations while serving as auxiliary offensive force in various battles. It was Equestria's cloak and dagger, and served her well. It would be this very ministry that would lead to the foundations of Enclave itself. During the Great War, a plan was conceived secret among Pegasi, unknown to any outside their circle, that would take the clouds above and isolate themselves if the war proved too drastic. They would form a new form of government when they represent their interests rather than those of the control elite, all while making use of Singaporean project towers to effectively control the weather along with to feed their ponies without having their need for earth ponies at all. However, on that unfaithful day, the Balefire rained down across the land. The magnificent Pegasus city of Cloudsdale was annihilated. This no doubt prompted fury of all Pegasi across Equestria, and the plan to separate the Pegasi race from the rest began to unfold. The remaining survivors of Cloudsdale escaped and regrouped, and soon ordered the construction of New Cloudsdale in this new city, among others. The Pegasi would continue civilization on their own and stay above the surface for 200 years. They formed their own government, operating with the Senate and Council as they planned ahead for the future of the races below. Finally, they would descend once more onto the surface and establish their outpost of Neighvaro. The Enclave of present day may entirely be composed of new individuals, but its ideals have largely remained the same. The strength of the Senate wanes as the Council begins to solidify its grip over the Pegasi government. General Fairfall, although rather uninspiring, has remained in his post, leading the Enclave for the past 40 years. Yet many question his true legitimacy, thanks to his recent controversy. There are so many young leaders eager to take his place and lead the Enclave in a direction is never taken. Advances in gaining crew through the Council, ponies eager to serve for a new leader, and plans of breaching of all the fate of the entire wasteland being among certain officers. The Enclave shall continue to endure Equestria shall continue to endure from the Enclave, and its Pegasi will strive to leave it to glory once more. Our exact reason is their way for farmland, Balefire poison these lands, and next to most of the world. Here, so that's this whole thing that we can't really go through. From north, alright. Thanks. Blues? Okay. And no change because it's a brand new game. Now, Pegasus technology. Oh yeah, yeah, that is interesting. Okay, cloud architecture, of course. Yeah, this is a very new thing. So it's very, very low. Let's see, support infantry, insect energy. Land doctrine, centralized force. Pegasi division. Now let's see here. What are the options here? So, how do we fix this? Same reason. Oh. You know, let me just double check this. I'm just gonna go recheck to see if, because the route I'm thinking of going towards, for this game, I just need to double check this. Mainly, I just need to just go check the thing. Like, make sure I understand. And some things there, right? Just on who to lead for certain paths. Okay, so we want Seafire then. For what I was thinking of going towards, so. Or I can go with the other one. I'm gonna go with one of these two. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be decided later. Conspiracy. Right. Neat. Yeah, you see how it goes. This is very early game. Like, They've only been in development for not that long. I'm gonna put something in charge. That, now, let's start. Zoom in on her. Nicely. Shoot. Simply AI. I'm gonna go historical because I'm gonna play Balefire Blues. I hope this doesn't mess with my game, but probably will. Because I don't want to go historical. Military officers. Because we need more support. Now, a fateful day. Leave is destruction. Okay. As many pace as I can get. See the Cloudsdale. Okay, hold up. Where do I start? Ouch. Okay. So... Four off the map. This is gonna suck earlier. But I can fix this. Election campaign. Let's do this first. Not this. Election campaign. And this is gonna suck. I don't think this one will take. To fix our political power from that. Yep, Red Eye doing Red Eye things. Let's discuss the population crisis. Okay, so this is it. On the population crisis, the management of the population has been significantly issued since the Enclave has moved since Simpsons and the infamous recovery camps, refugee camps that held because of service that continued with the first family and so terrible that one-fifth the population. This has resulted in the strict control of the reproduction by the state. The Enclave having maintained a strict two-child policy, aside from those who've earned the privilege of additional offspring. This question has shaped modern precise society, affected all customs, and even their approach to romantic relationship. The culture is adapted to meet the needs of the nation, generally investing in same-sex relationships being rewarded, and tax breaks for those who choose not to have children. Despite this enormous cultural adaptation, the problem continues to wear down the very foundation of the Enclave. The weight of the members it yearns to protect, wearing it down. Recently, the issue of having to has begun to boil over as the food supplies and crippling beliefs and even repressed sexual tension and continue to bear down on the population. The pressure has become possible. The Senate Council and the Senate assembled today to address this issue. While tightly packed room, of the represent issue. The primary class between General Fairfall, the teachers of the Justice and Order Party, long-time advocate of the Enclave. And RP is an artist fast saying more rifle. Fairfall speech. Oh god, there's a lot of events. Okay, so Fairfall begins slowly making his way over. The central podium, his back left leg dragging behind him, and draping during the Griffin urgency. He surveys the crowd for several sections, taking a sip from the glass of water. He stood on the podium by an aide before beginning to speak, his voice dry and dismissive. The issue has come to council today is one that has been repeated by hundreds of different ponies 100 different times. I've lived through countless movements, and it's just like this one, and I've lived to see them fade. Champions is the foolishness of their proposal and slightly withdraw from the political scene, doing their best to hide their shame. The only true surprising aspect is the argument signing them. So we expect better from General though I suppose heroism isn't necessarily heroism. I'll make this fast and simple, my colleagues. He drags his tired gaze across the ponies assembled, allowing them to clearly see his disdain for his topic at hand. Let's break down to reasons presented. I admit, some concerns are legitimate. Others are dissident. In regards to such response, I will point out into historical precedent, things have been difficult, though he have always prevailed. The last actual famine was 40 years ago. lasting only a short months before our rising was able to address it once more. It's a simple fact of life here in the sky, one that won't change regardless of our feelings on the matter. Toughen up and understand the reality of the situation. Ponies, as we're living place, please. We live in the greatest conditions left in the world. Conditions more dangerous than those of the ground could ever dream of. Stop letting your greed dictate your actions. It is not befitting of you. Finally, I gotta say to you in just this point, though, film has emphasized you have placed on. He allows a long pause, directing users' gaze towards points within the audience. The fact is that the sexual satisfaction of the serious issue speaks poorly of you. Your generation is so promiscuous and hedonistic that they can think of nothing other than the bonking speaks poorly of your generation. That this is you who's playing the responsibility of the assembled. The sheer inability to control their base impulse is the same on you all. He waits to sort by the early Senate Council, going back towards the east, ignoring the stunned stare and at first he does his leg. How? Goddamn this is gonna probably take. I might even get through this whole thing just because of how long this. Okay. Tornado speech. In the midst of this, you stood instantly, drawing attention to him with his sudden movement. He took time to survey the crowd, his prosthetic eye, and losing sight on the younger representatives present. Finally began to make his way down the podium to grant his still society despite his advanced age. As a result, an advanced training regime practice to this day. When he finally reached the podium, he stood in silence for several moments before speaking. His traditional Enclave dress uniform still pristine, despite its obvious age. The gleaming medals that went to his chest only adding to its luster. With an abrupt nod, he begins to speak. His powerful voice commanding from all those present. 12 years ago, our people suffered, as our ancestors did, as the famine once more laid low to our great city. 12 years ago, an estimated 10,000 ponies died of starvation. This problem has always plagued our people, and so long as we sit here and refuse to address it, it shall continue to do so. John first of all proposes we just do that. Sit here and wait for yet another famine to strike our city, sunder our home, and wither our people. We can and must prevent that tragedy of famine in the future instead of merely trying to salvage the equine records of the famine with various regret and empty promises. How much longer will we wait until someone is willing to take decisive action to address the most pressing issue? How long must we wait until the council does what needs to be done? His voice raises both volume and tempo as he speaks. His eyes locked with the enraptured ponies with the audience. For the last 200 years, we have been forced to bear the weight of our civilization upon our shoulders, but without a moment of rest, as we work to maintain our lives above the clouds. The last 200 years, because I of the Enclave have been forced to contend with terrible famine, cramped conditions, never-ending scarcity. We have worked, we have saved, we have sacrificed, but we've never given up. We have never lowered ourselves to the base levels as is so common upon the surface. No, we had to let this struggle define us. His voice softens as he pauses. Take a moment to present a genuine smile to the crowd before continuing. Daniel continues. We have let this struggle forge our people into something greater, more than ever before. The Pakistan tribe has become a paragon of sacrifice, endurance, and ingenuity. With our diligence, we have built a new society for ourselves. We have given everything to ensure its survival. We have come a long way since we first shepherded the social survivors of Cloudsville into the relief camps. We have built new cities, repaired massive fleets, grown a new culture. After all of this, we deserve something better. All of us. We deserve an opportunity to love who we love, to raise a family, to stretch our wings and live free. We deserve a chance to have our homes rather than communal apartments, to indulge some on special occasions. We deserve a chance not to fear ever present inspector of famine. We are a unique people. We have survived the end of the world with our dignity in civilization intact, the sole arbiter of civilization left in this world. It is important that we show it. We can no longer afford to wither away among the clouds, declared Neighvaro, seeking out the last bit of power present in a century of old machinery. Raise those present. We deserve a new home. We deserve a place where we can do all of those things and more. I understand that many of those present would consider close. So we can barely in the stream of our population as it is. We never hope to expand. Where would we go when every acre of land must be devoted to cloud farms? I have answered you, my friends. These are microphone moments and build. We ascend. Build a new home for ourselves in a rumble left blown. It will be hard. Just like before, we have succeeded. If our people can survive apocalypse itself, we can certainly survive the remnants of it left behind. Use my remaining time to the chamber. With a nod, knows who I am. Where is it? Right. Susan. We don't want that. We want the Enclave Senate. So maybe makes a better argument. Yeah, voting rights debate. I'm sorry how long this is gonna take for these. But I'm going through every single one of these things. So these will help us a lot. Through all this here, then I can go through this side. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a yeah, the episode's gonna be an hour long this time because, frankly, we have to get through all this stuff early. Film race debate. Okay, that's interesting. Autumn leaf, huh? On voting rights, so the key. Oh god, that's the click. One of the key features that sets the Enclave apart from the rest of all countries is that every citizen holds the right to vote, regardless of their city, wealth, or individual status. Every citizen is allowed to cast their preferred representative on both the high and low councils. Many across the Enclave consider this to be one of the core aspects of society, and aspect that allows them to claim moral and philosophical superiority over the absolute rule of the Alcorns. In recent months, had raising suffering period, so representatives have looking out in favor of restricting franchise, expanding the requirement of military service to become electorate as a whole. The month average and average. Here's rankings of the young Our young colonel, he's on the system, near Ceasefire, who fiercely declared proposal as regressive and undemocratic. That's not at 4. She takes 4. I move the proposal. Yeah. As he paced open the floor of the Senate Hall, clothing traditional Enclave dress uniform. Forward, must accept the fact that maybe you're selling ourselves to disaster for the last 200 years. Yeah, place trust in that is allowing him have allowed the experience and discipline of the military to lead us, allowing them to guide our path through history. For the last 200 years, they had done so with skill, honor, and strength within history seats. And to allow us to move forward from the current camps over the last just old unscathed. For 200 years, we trusted them to guide us into a future, a trust that proven tens of times over as it stands near for people when we'll find how you remember our history. For a falter at a stuck point, we weaken ourselves. And like our scale require military service for a reason. It serves as a ultimate test of character. Without this protection of democracy, it long ago set aside by taint of radical populism that Seafarer so eagerly endorses. Say would expand the carbon based upon the candidates to the basis himself, allowing us to reselect to meet the quality of those issues governed, and then not only that, would you move forward Walter when we are tested in response. That actually was a decent argument, surprisingly enough. Now, CPAR, your unvoting restrictions. If I raises as almost rumps from to his clique, fading from view. Aside, he advances to the podium. Aside his formal suit, a stark contrast to the colonel's uniform. With a pack of smile, he begins to address the crowd. Citizens, soldiers, and friends, we meet here today in the halls of New Cloudsdale, the capital of our people. It wasn't always our capital, though. 200 years ago, that was for the first Cloudsdale, the greatest city our people ever knew. Within the vast halls, some of the greatest dramas of history played out. Commander Hurricane led the conquest of the Pakistan tribes, forcing us into a united people. Commander Ironhead led his sea against the staring friends against Dragon Mess, driving them back from the ancient bastion of the center of the city. Flash Magnus ensured that the continuation of the unity and Shadow War. Despite all of this history, the city was ready to a single stroke. It wasn't our fault, though. No. He offers a grim smile to the silent crowd. Intention to draw out things and continued on. No, it wasn't our fault, my friends. We only done our duty. What was expected of us? None of us decided to start the war with the Zebras. We did not choose to plunder our nation into battle after 100 years of undisturbed peace. We did not choose to develop the weapons that would end our world. No, that was the choice of the Alcorns, a result of their arrogance, their zealotry, and their absolute rule. They plunged our nation into a war that would destroy the world. What Autumn is calling for today, it would do the same. He proposes stripping the power away from the ponies, placing it solely in the hands of a singular organization, an organization that holds loyalty to him alone. Not only would he cast aside the most treasured tradition of democracy that for his unseemly ambition, he would do so with the intent of permanently eradicating the franchise to ensure his grip. This issue before us today is not one of simple politics, it's one of the survival, not for our people, as Autumn really suggests, but for our culture and the very beliefs it is based on. Autumn would have cast that aside, embracing the very authoritarianism that destroyed our world in the past. It is our job, our duty, to deny those that would destroy what we most hold dear. Our democracy must not only be the envy of the wasteland, but the engine of our own renewal. There is nothing wrong with the Enclave that cannot be cured by what is right with Enclave. Enclave's here to make the right decision. No. Seafire is correct. And we want visionary. Okay. That's a question. Radio though. I'm going by not what I'm going closer towards, because that is actually a good argument. It's there. If that's how it actually was. Alright, time for the dash light question. This is going to be a long one. I'm expecting this might have 3 options. This should go towards the next level of excitement. Building those. Wastelander rights. This issue of Wastelanders has always been a touchy subject within the Enclave. Society is often leading to arguments about the dinner table over this system within the government. Today, however, this has changed. British Senate has begun to call together to discuss this issue at the behest of none other than Majority Leader Seafire. The most prominent of the progressive reformers at New Cloud Sale. While many have bold with this actually messing up, okay. Bold about the sizes. And even more tender, drawn forth by states or curiosity. Within the majority of Senate, Seafire chosen. From his cluster of allies and prerogatives, and to present his favor of the Wastelanders. The conversation comes to a halt as he arrives to the podium, taking up a proposal beyond offering his trademark smile to some folks like, "Hello again, friends. I'm glad many of you could make it today, given the short notice. With how many of you are practicing here, I assume that you are well familiar with the topic already, Wastelanders. Now, this is always something we hesitant to talk about. I mean, unless you're Colonel unless you're a Colonel Autumn or one of these. But that's a side note. In all seriousness, I think it's very important to discuss this now rather than later. Given everything that's happening with all changes going on now, we may have to have a solid policy towards the service much sooner than first thought. It's a really terrifying thought. I mean, these are ponies that we have not recently interacted with properly in 2 centuries. And when it comes down to it, that's the core of it. They're ponies, not wastelanders. So it continues. He looks out towards the crowd serving the next person. For the most part, his most boredom, neutrality, and active malice from Autumn's clique. Nothing unexpected discontinued on. And yes, I meant what I said. We need to treat them like they're some different species. That they are inherently different than us. Admittedly, there are a number of cultural differences. But it doesn't change the simple fact that that at our core, we are all still ponies. The main thing that gets us apart, biological is the fact that we have a pair of wings and lesser ears. Beyond that, we are pretty much the same. Now onto the actual personal level. That's where we run into issues. The simple fact that we are on average much healthier, stronger, better educated, more disciplined, and more civilized than the vast majority of ponies on the surface. This is something that can't be ignored. This places a natural barrier between us. But we also can't ignore that they are ponies, just like you and me. Cannot ignore that over 1,000 years ago, when we were faced with a similar situation, and once again, we cannot ignore the pony tribes that only achieve true prosperity by working past their differences, acknowledging one another as equal in nature, if not in ability. The room is silent as dialogue is increasingly radical, though some intrigued by his words. I believe that if we approach ponies as inherently equal, we can forge a barrier for our foes, of course. We must maintain a degree of separation. Our cultural differences would make full integration impossible, but we should certainly take steps to bridge that gap, to acknowledge that we are inherently superior to the wings on our back, that maybe, just maybe, they are worth some compassion as well. Please repeat. What else? See if I can. Oh god dang it, more! Okay. This will depend on how the center is, it seems. Something else I want to talk about is on top of compassion. Dissect. We all know them. We all hate them, right? But why? What does that punishment actually mean? He continues on. He drew increasingly evidence from stairs out. His prolonged is raised by an unplanned tangent. Yes, I understand. It means punishment, but why do we practice it? Why do we honor some mayor who banned us 200 years ago by ensuring she is remembered by those who would happily follow in her footsteps? And most of all, why do we punish Christ's compassion with something like that? Now, I'm not saying these traitors, like Deadstock Calamity, should be forgiven. They actually committed crimes, after all. No, what I don't get is why ponies like Radar are punished for being willing to perform a single act of kindness. That's what got his as after all, isn't it? That make us pause to dying mare. Who wouldn't do that? The ox are starting to fade with seeing anger or seeing consideration, while the vast majority awkward silence. I mean, the term dashlight only serves as another way to separate us from the point of service. To remember how a mare who prayed her entire civilization 200 years ago. Let's forget her. Let's forget the brand. Let's forget this concept as a whole. But he should not be punished. It's only natural that you feel for your fellow ponies. If some pony commits a serious crime to warrant greater punishment, then just dust them. Don't make them a martyr and release them into the wild. That only makes them more dangerous. This is reconciliation of a sort. Those who are cast out preemptively that way start healed. This wound in the ancient betrayal left. Wait, as I said, while they had defense of the wasteland, no point, not even his allies. Here's that scene. Is an applause within what reasonable, if extreme. Actually, yeah. I think we're trying to get as much on that as possible. I'm going to do resource scarcity issue. Well, that was one. Never-ending scarcity. Life about the clouds is defined by scarcity. A simple fact is one of inherent to the environment itself. Despite all of this, the ponies of the Enclave has begun to scrounge up resources they need, making use of anything and everything available. Water, extracted from the clouds themselves. Cloud seeding allows for a measure of food, and a few remaining is allowed for some minerals. They have long since been depleted. Despite these factors, life is still hard. The entirety of the Enclave's citizens revolves around the struggle to survive, a struggle that has continued since its very foundation, one born of the hunger and sickness of the recovery camps, a struggle that continued even as they are built due to the never-ending conflict against nature itself. The Enclave has a unique reason for a true value of solid matter. What many below might see as trash is carefully stockpiled mats, and slowly to fit the needs of this society. From there, transform to meet the to whatever that may be, to his use to the fullest extent, long beyond what many would see as reasonable. When it is finally expires, its use has been extinguished, not simply scarred. It is returned to the stockpiles, broken down into its fixed components, and recycled in any way possible. Today, two factions come together to be transforming the issue from the Enclave forever. The issue is obtaining resources from the surface. This issue has been central to end the great struggle. Finally, let the sky claim the birthright belongs to the promise. It falls to ensure society never again have to suffer under endless scarcity of the sky. Heroes. Of course, the Enclave for me. Here speaks. Okay, I hate how long my talks is reading. Yes. Speech, tornadoes, and this poem. His features called as well as he likes to start, using his one good eye to examine and perform the sign kind of armor to where and air on the surface. Using a lifetime. There's people with the brother speaks, we must understand the importance of our decision here, find our future. I understand that there are those that propose things such as trading for the resources we require to survive the perfect world. Or we would descend to the world below and exchange animals for those stronger. Unfortunately, we do not live in a perfect world. The world is as we find it. You have to deal with reality. There are monsters in this world. There are countless numbers of them who nothing more to expand and reach to, or means to kill, rape, and maim as they will, to spread their many chaos into our cities and tear us down to their level. Yet you object when I refuse to kiss these monsters on the cheek and say please as we beg them for the resources we need to survive. Tell me, which of the ponies here you put in harm's way? You don't seem a nasty fella. His eyes locked in Balefire, staring at him a moment before Chinese week. I will not apologize for trying to keep your family safe. I will not apologize for trying to do what needs to be done to ensure that our families can sleep safely at night. It's my honor to be a servant of the Enclave. My honor to be a servant to our people. As General of the Enclave, it's my sworn duty to do what is right by our people to ensure we can survive. For the last 200 years, we mostly struggled to ensure that chaos and despair never again turns our doorstep. We in the past, but struggle has to yarn, and there is only one source of victory in the struggle. As long as we pause, staring out the impossible. Continues. We must take what is needed to surface as resources it could ever reside in excess. Yet despite this, there are a little more than just raiders and meager communities and brute warlords. They all have resources they could desire to ensure that every pony could live a safe and stable life. Despite this, there are a little more than savages playing the shadow of greater civilization. Our civilization, we have nothing but what our forefathers left us, nothing but the resources we have able to gather with our own hooves. Yet despite this, we are a pinnacle of questioning civilization, best in strength, freedom, and order across the wasteland. Now, this isn't to say that they are all savages, sadists, and barbarians. I've been to service before. I can tell you that there are plenty of good ponies down there. He offers a light smile to the crowd, especially many ponies, and we rest of emotion. However, the vast majority of them aren't. This majority aren't simply trying to carve life for themselves in uncaring wasteland. No, they use it to slay, oppress, and torture their fellow ponies. They use it to establish a cruel dominion over those unwilling to use the same tactics. This, above all things, justifies our right to seize what we need, nay, deserve, from those that would abuse it. Their resources below could end our struggle, not our present defeat, but in the golden light of victory. We could, in the vow of victory, and end you see the scarcity that's people. All we need to do is understand that this is ours taken. Only see it is your birthright, my friends. And all we need to do is take it. What? Response. Who speaks? Oh god damn it. Okay, this is gonna be long. Oh, I just noticed that. Wait, let me just double check this. And okay, I'm gonna have to probably after this one I might actually have to. There, just because of how much reading I had done earlier. Unless I want to go for a very long episode. Ceasefire speech. Ceasefire looked out upon the cheering clowns, disheartened but not discouraged. The path of the peacemaker was never easy, though he would never stray for anything else. He was so deaf he didn't take his task. To take up this path, few others would, and things for Corinne. Ceasefire steps up as Tornado offers him a podium, offering him a curious nod as he does. Turning to assembled representatives, he waits them to quiet down before beginning his speech. Beginning to speak? So calm the space between his misgivings. Hello, friends. I have to say, I'm rather impressed by the passion of General Tornado's proposal. If not its contents as well, he has the right idea. He's approaching it in the wrong way. The way that would see us descend to their level, being used of violence to enforce our will upon those less fortunate than ourselves. Haven't we learned better than that? This isn't to say the resource issue isn't the core of society's rules. I think we're all smart enough to see the truth in that regard, so I do not feel a pressing need to say what has already been said. And I, and those aligned with me, believe he proposes is morally wrong. Though we don't necessarily disagree with this argument as a whole, we do live in an imperfect world. He ends at the crowd for a moment. We wouldn't be stuck up here if it was perfect. But as I said, we do not live in a perfect world. He continues in conclusion that as a result of this friction, we must make use of force to take what is needed. I see it in a different way. I see it in another example of the world urging us to aspire to perfection, to seek those to be better than we are. We have in our hooves immense power to do both good and evil. Power that we have refrained from using due to fear of the unknown. That would not suggest that we greet the unknown with open hooves. For that would be foolish. But that would be foolish. Instead, I suggest we offer hoof and greeting. After all, we have plenty to get that isn't our resources. Here it is. He gestures to the Senate's hall, outlining ceiling, carefully crafted walls, drawing attention to construction. The sky is a harsh mistress, my friends. But while she has taken much from us, she has also granted us much in return, if it isn't obvious. For example, let's look to the sun. We experience sunlight every day up here. It's a normal part of life. Down there, they live in our shadow. They dream of the sun, of the warmth it brings on a cool spring day, or about water. That's one of the things you always had more than enough, isn't it? Did you know that the ponies below die of thirst, of all things? We cannot make it literally fall from the sky. On that topic, what about storms? You spirit thunder to us, but nothing serious. To them, as a terrifying onslaught from the sky, howling down upon their measly little homes. We control each of these things, don't we? So why not to use them? We don't need to give up our resources you totally need. We merely need to barter with the sky itself. We need some food to shore up the emergency rations. Let's offer a settlement 3 months of sunlight in exchange for that. What about that replacement pot for a raptor? That'll be a season of rain, just for you. Some more medical supplies, next group of ears. Those that come for your summons really won't be struck by lightning, no? He chuckles and brings a hoof down to the cloud. We live among the greatest economic potential in the wasteland. Let's use it. We can maintain our dignity, maintain our way of life, all while enhancing it with goods from the surface. Even better, we can do it with a clean conscience, all while staying true to our valued principles. Tornado means well, but his methods is crude, necessarily violent. By simply making use of immobility over weather, we can achieve so much more than at nearly inexorable cost. Who wouldn't want that? He gives his best smile, holding an awkwardly second stick on. When they begin stomping their hooves, there's a pause that equaled that after aim. Cherry nods fire. Sense no. So maybe see fire's right after all. Yep, 50-50. Yeah, I'm gonna continue this actually for a while. I'm gonna use your request 8. Oh, this is a fast one. Okay. Miss Eugene, our sons have always been on the best terms. They really especially received Enclave. Services. There is Europe. Easy up. Most areas do clouds down my fair wing. Where is this? Oh, that's Unity. Okay. I think the main theories are reward could erupt, however, as seen since then, bizarre twist of fate, a representative is just kind of for this. It's great. Hello, Senator Clouds, my name is Fair Wing. I have come here Perhaps all saves within be used to request your aid. Our city is currently going through the worst famine we have ever seen in centuries. I've been lucky to get a meager meal. One in the dinner uses are scarce, even more so than in the rest of the Enclave. MA versus ruin. From the Griffin War, I know that you have great buildings yourself. I fully recognize that there's your own most way. Have you consider building up earth? No. There's anything fun for your reply? Thank you. I must fly together. This is gonna suck, but it's worth it. Maxi. Savvy, the Palmac City. Supposing a rapid expansion. This guy freezes you. This guy freezes news. Power within the Enclave raising as part of our controversial policy shorting service, or ignoring the service, it isn't set out to utilize it for solve their needs. Use food resources and the ponies need procure themselves for the older desires. This buys them going to service at all, while many younger ones affects them treating those well as more slaves. Until recently, this matter was facilitated to the Senate. In the recent industrial booms, have freeze experience put an end to that. Residents shows the very most processed generation that sooner the council also get involved during and for several sessions discussed it's supposed to take towards the troublesome city. Plans to observe Scaffy's it's not coming to your path. When I say I was at the council talking themselves, I'm sleek and feather. All's crowd were nobly grouped far as it could be while staying at the other side of the room. And as I said, Neighvaro positioned at the very center. As close to the council as it could be, various political observations and judgments. He met by seating arrangements, but that would be best to headlines say the chatter. Conversations were brought to an abrupt halt as the great descent in the tunnel were open. Experts tried and within their maid. Numerous they sent a military attack. You can see not messing. McCaffrey's first citizen, bright white. No enters the room. God. Bright white speech. Reactions vary from both movement to outcry council. Let's say unlike rescinding to or accepting into the reversed citizen right wing. Either the Cyphers himself, the two in order within the room surprisingly enough. Leaf and Neighvaro. Both set out coming down their sides, bring enough quiet for Rick to sound yourself. There's no time saying his thing. Hello, Mr. Stallion, said to Closdale, as you know, I am Citizen Brightwing, humble servant to the fine ponies of Scarfreeze. I come here today to represent their interest, for that is my very job as first citizen. I know many of you are very vocal concerns regarding the state of our lovely city. Rest assured, I've in fact read all of the public statements and reviews to be published in your papers. I have also listened to the diplomats that have been sent to us, both from you and from our city within Enclave. I have listened and am now here to respond. First, I would like to address the simple matter of morality. Some of our sharp words regarding our treatment of the service members. I see Santa Seafire among you. His published asking criticism about it himself. These concerns, I simply say that we are helping those under our rule as must help us. We provide them a food, shelter, and more importantly, a purpose. Without us, they'd be stripped of living in radioactive squalor. Would you see them stripped of that? Stripped of these luxuries and thrown back to the full partners of service life. Now, to address your real concern, our prosperity, yes. I know full well that many see us as a rival, potential enemy even. But I have give you not a my word, but with every means skyface, that we have no ill intent towards our fellow cities. When these centuries in the affair of the greater Enclave, we will leave you and every RCB. No. Yay, both things are accurate. Hope I'm buying something. That outfit. And now I can finally get a good Senate. Neighvaro outpost. Yeah, okay, let's continue. I meant to stop this thing. Resources and hostile land. Prosperous outpost science is for years. Okay. Prosperous outpost science has been for 20 years. Should we dare remote? These are soldiers and import. Release as a support. It was quiet except for where's other generals. It's crucial for the development of our influence over the area. If we leave it as is, where hell we're supposed to go in, we can't season down the soldiers elsewhere. In concentration, they can defend themselves. Or us aboard. After 3 seconds. That's the reason we must reinforce it. Because only there, it is entirely available to attack from all around. If the outpost opponent could be disrupted, and a few well-armed Balefire soldiers only refutes. Or within the perimeter council interface about the energy shield we have there. And we bring through at any time. Shield up, nope, and hit upon enemy getting upon her. This is there. For all. Really quickly less on that place. Precisely. Energy shield. No. Do you think you can actually take the outpost or even. Oh, this was a find is part over that era. And chuckled himself in his. The room seemed as clear as all. He was down from the dispute, really talking with his peers. The energy shield could aid in defense, but only instantly repelling attack on. So we need extra soldiers for protection. So I think I've been checking up. Yes, if we lose that energy shield after all, you have no idea of what's powering it. In a way restored to fall, we must have a outpost. Right. No, for once I have to go with this one. I actually gotta go with Omleaf on this. No volunteer program. Or actually, yeah, volunteer. Yeah. Summon. Talk to Sanskrit. He's an extra prescription. Only does. I lose the country. One time is like very loyal, almost like also fanatic military. Been to pay off soldier environments like that methods refused over years. Some lords are maybe desirable, others point out that students over this position. Worrying about the drain on the pencil large military would present. Airspace and call the military as a whole. It's a better one. And Fury was allowing Cruise of Flood. You need this good. So, eliminate on your recruitment. Also, need a little point per. Ow! That's a hard choice. I'm gonna embrace nukers. I know that's a risk. Now I need stuff to go lower this. Only for all the heads. And press 143, Newcastle annual parades. I have soldiers appears. It's flying overhead, dragging massive flag behind them, better following native Axelis was from. This is a steel string. Tears are fall. I'm just gonna go with this one though. Conclusion to stay out of this. Yeah, I'm just gonna click that because that's frankly not gonna affect our neutral will actually help us. And Thunderhead recruitment. Retirement. Oh. This is hard. Okay, Thunderous. It's on Thunderheads. Each of these mobile fortress in the sky, and UK Thunderous. Especially Wars of One, presuming history. More for like having 2 million also. together. Following. Yeah. Stream facility. Yes, this is a hard choice. Gosh dang it. I know what to choose. Choose is good, but Constitution. For any reason, years. Now that we don't need. So scrap it for parts. That's gonna really help us in the long run, actually. I deal with the Senate. I'm gonna go side with the Enclave Senate. Period. We've accused the Senate. Shouldn't be also on leave. You seem to know what this was about. Refusing to tell anyone in the council officially under sentence. Oh man, if you're confused why I called you here, this is most important. It's probably not discussed about Enclave as a whole. At this, President Tenzin looks very most concerned to one slice arm. Master is never taken liking, even verify all and usually miss everything out claimed. Now was intensely listening. Yes, it has come to my attention that there are both others say as all that something so insidious that Phil is saving it even damns them. But so powerful it is. And destroying the very lead of life, I'm referring to Senate itself. There's some silence. If they remember the council struggle process, he said. Before they could recover, he continued time and time again. They sought to their power, time and time again. Cut off for budget, or waste military assets. Let's see, use his arm. Let's see, let's on guard. We're his part. Let's see. Self, let's see. He's falling off the deep end. Red eye. Strategy with red eye. Today, members of the council. Oh, convened to discuss the matter most serious. The first true military challenger of the Enclave. While they have faced and the councils in the past, they have truly been confirmed by a faction. People as equal member industrial might, while many of the council's sexual imprisoned by a warlord known as Red Eye, Colonel Autumn, General. Came together in a agreement, both agreeing that Red Eye is a essential threat to Enclave's way of life. The two stand together. The council will break a tradition, specifically the tent as and rarity of the situation. Tornadoes mouths were made using a dead on top country songs iconic smile. With two lock eyes, the song eyes being tornadoes yellow ones. The two took positions in moves, and it's a battle of wills where Autumn finally looks down. On a tornado finally look into the wing. Also, with his face stoic, without pause, he begins to speak, his voice low and bold to his office. Good morning, colleagues. Today, Colonel Autumn and I have come before you to discuss a matter of utmost importance. That is, the wasteland world known as Red Eye. I understand that many of you don't consider this individual or supporters to be a threat. I also understand that you has been incredibly short-sighted in order to help perceive the threat he poses to our way of life. As it stands, this individual is simultaneously possessing the largest military force, industrial center, and total strength. Placed in the wasteland. As it stands, he is second only in us in total strength, even though we can easily eclipse him on our front. It's important to understand the significance of this. For the first time in 200 years, there is a power capable of challenging us, one capable of marshalling the manpower and industry the developed nations to wage war against their enemies, while also intent on expansion and continued reclamation that is already to forcibly reunite from equestrian nation. As it stands, there is absolutely no way that Red Eye can attack us at home. But I have no doubt that will change within the next 2 decades or so. Given his current rate of expansion, it is of extreme importance that we ensure our safety now and forever. Now, I asked return to Tyndall Autumn. I'm sorry. So Neighvaro offers or not stepping away from the platform to allow Autumn a chance to speak. Autumn offers him a polite nod to his face, like a neutral expression, and step forward, listen. The second is Preston transformed from emotionless to a grim grin. He meets eyes with the council. Thank you for that speech, General Tornado. I think we all agree that he laid out some more key arguments here. Now, I feel the need to reinforce the words of General Tornado here. Red Eye poses an existential threat to our way of life going forward. While it seems absurd, I know he has managed to rally together enough wasteland mongrels to actually pose a threat to our city. There was a long pause as he stopped to think of him speak. With that in mind, it is important that we act. Now understand that Tornado intends to put forward a plan of action that would see us striking high-ranking officials and key structures within the wards. This will not be sufficient. As much as I would like to end this quickly and quietly, the forces are much too potent for us to cripple with simple assassinations. They may use of artificially created alicorns and this diamond dogs, incredibly brutal mercenaries, even without their leadership. These sets will continue to exist. No, but we need to put a stop on this once and for all. I propose begin drafting plans for a surface intervention effective immediately. Deployment of raptors and Enclave boots on the ground will be necessary to win this war, I guarantee it. I cede the floor to Neil, but I ask that you keep the sorceryness of his plan in mind as he speaks. Autumn sounded down from the podium, smirking at Tornado as he does. Ignoring this, everything eyes and Tornado fuming. Takes his position. I think the overturn will speak. As my colleague before me said, action will be required to face this new threat. The action must be decisive and swift, for our enemy grows ever stronger on a daily basis. Proposes, however, is not the solution. If he had his way, we mere serious and erring wars, saying I used to go fight and die in a merciless pit that is the wasteland. Yes, and I say war. Says so it'll be. He wants us to sadly out and fight, rather than playing to our strengths. Let us stand in conflict that would kill thousands of our citizens, the most brutal battles imaginable. Reals right. His wasteland wounds up in the argument he presents. He wants us so he can benefit politically. He desires glory, strength, and the sacrifice our valiant soldiers to achieve. I propose a series of lightning strikes to cripple Red Eye's red arm before it can grow further out in its strength. Need is to eliminate this threat, not to draw it out. And create a proactive campaign. Approve my plan, my colleagues. When necessary shock troops are sent, that is all. I'm gonna say this one here because I actually don't know. This is better. Wait a minute. Let's see that again. Okay, I think the game updated already. The Fairfall Vale. Fairfall is never was precise. Despite this, yes, he's coming with the specs that is due of his position. Reputation rare. Segment leader has only helped aid playing him as selling a moral character who's not prone to falling into difficult pursuits, a self-interest or momentary passion. That's until recently. Fairfall's less upsetting activities recently become a topic of common relation rapidly growing to April topic for civilians and soldiers alike. Scenes of him being self-officer, appointing to high spare, probably newspapers, and there's also give accounts of his corruption. The accounts from claims of him pocketing military funds, demonstrating sexual favors for promotions. They say controversy rocked. That cleaves his very core. Councils. Something was done. And we have a weaker council. That's good. I'm gonna go see Fire's accusation. Investigation. Person is so secret and he has gone out of his way to ensure as close as much as possible as our export, letting them military. I was just going forward with a case which has gone a long way to making a case. Unfortunately, there's been little undeniable evidence of our doing. Last night, an officer came us with, a deal of hard evidence against her, but also the council as a whole. They claim numerous incriminating documents, internal memos, even personal writings, old military house that have been used for years ago. Speaking the truth, evidence, takes a long time for more also. Process. And then the warehouse. Nope. A fistful of evidence. Case against Fireball. Since Fairfall. Improve the trials of lawyers. Since Fairfall, it instituted and promoters and decisions for a public conference must remain public as Senate security was facing the council. Chances are I'm going to probably have to start this game over again. Oh. There's not got double high, there's with an offer, and it's for presenting efforts. And it says, well, I'm for support. Military does it. So, their power, but also have corruption, everyone's views. Apple, please, the council itself. Get the book of my office. I say, right? I think if I did that, I probably would get cooed. So I'm gonna tell him to get the book out of my office. Yeah, fade the general. Selection itself, every newspaper and tabloid here, lost prices, talking about the band. Any debates within those here citizens will call for recent arrests, usually. And to have bribery basically. And when it's not guilty, it's a press what you witnesses. High forward against general evidence. Mass reviewed. Back and forth. Charles declared guilty. This council is currently leading. Yeah, I'm very sure if I did this and I allowed destruction support and I wouldn't yes this, he would have cooed the government. The new government. And I think after this thing I'm gonna go and end the episode. It's very long. Fire secures victory. Fire stocks and match still for the majority of each in the Senate. The victory allows him to or maybe his proposed reforms, which is long, which is highly controversial. Furthermore, he'll allow him to use against the council's rules. But makes panics on edge. They fear his leadership would only lead to ruin. He won't pay. So he cheers theme, confidence, believe the minister future. And but another senator. The majority leader of Enclave, noble politician, sales, he finally believes in a new course for the Enclave, one that, becoming serious at the wasteland, and truly a system it claims to follow. A passionate and highly educated individual, he is prominent advocate of for moderate and progressive policies. Though his for Gallus humor has some concern, he seeks a very personality, Gallus humor, passionate, well-spoken, arrogant. He's a visionary. People acknowledge the destruction of Equestria and walls. Sometimes he's true, make at least hospitable. And yay! And okay, this is gonna be the end of the episode. But yeah, this better than I expected. Let's pull that off. Now I'm curious though which way we're gonna expand all of this. Bad pony system. Oh, this is gonna be really helpful. Yeah, this is the good path. Yep, yeah, I was right. This is definitely the good path. But, okay, that's gonna be it for this episode, and yeah. Hopefully this isn't updating cause issue, but if it updates, it's fine enough. Yeah, have a good night, everyone. Cheers.